The Watchdog has urged to probe Labour's failure to declare the value of a HSBC donation. I'm going to read into this more from Open Democracy, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Open Democracy with the headline that the Watchdog is urged to probe Labour's failure to declare a value of HSBC donation. The party is accused of breaching electoral commission rules by failing to publish the value of a staffer's second from banking giant. Guys, while you're here, if you can, hit the like button and share across social media just so others are notified of this video. So, I've read a bit of this already before we read into this. So, it's an interesting one to say the least. Labour obviously are getting, as we know, they are getting a lot of donations from a lot of people, and we've had this discussion already that because the Conservatives are on their way out, a lot of those people who previously donated and supported Conservative are now voting Labour. And the banks here look like this donation here is to add to the caveat of why there's no, I think it's another reason to add on top of the so-called bankers bonus cap that's not been implemented by Labour, by its chancellor, by the shadow chancellor Rachel Reeves. You remember that there was a video I covered as to one of the reasons why Rachel Reeves is not doing it as well. There's yet to be a solid, significant reason of how it would benefit anyone at this bankers bonus cap, plus leaving a distaste in your mouth. So it looks like HSBC may be having a hand in something here, although an argument could be that it's just a case of they failed to declare the valuation. Why has the valuation not been declared? Why are Labour not following process here? Well, that's a very good question, and we can say the same about the Conservatives, because I'm sure there's a lot more things that the Conservatives should be doing that they aren't doing as well, but we don't see that as highlighted enough, do we? But if Labour are to be the next government, if they are to be the next ones in power, they, just like the Conservatives, need to be held to account. So let's dive into this, guys. So, the Electoral Commission has been urged to investigate Labour over its year-long failure to declare the valuation of a donation from the banking giant HSBC. HSBC seconded one of its staff members to Keir Starmer's party in February 2023, in an arrangement that sees the bank continue to pay the staffers' wages while they carry out work for Labour. Okay, so this staffer second one of its staff members to Keir Starmer's party. So they sent out staff workers to work for the party and paid them while they carried out work for Labour. Is that supposed to be alright? More than a year later, the party has still not published the value of its interest of this donation, in apparent breach of the Electoral Commission rules. The former chair of Committee of Standards in Public Life warned it is absolutely critical that Labour follows the rules around declarations, and said the Commission should be looking at this. If this is the case, surely Labour would have buried this right now. This information. If this is the case, surely Labour would have declared this right now, and there'd be no issue to it. If that's not, then why has it not been declared? The HSBC staffer, who Open Democracy is choosing not to name, works in Shadow Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds' office in part-time roles focused on engaging with business. So they know who the person is, but they're not giving the name away. They have appeared on every edition of the official register of MP staff and researchers, which is updated monthly since February 2023. The register lists people who have parliamentary passes through their works for MPs, as well as any outside interest that they may have or benefits they have received over a certain value. Prior to joining HSBC in October 2021, the staffer was previously a consultant at Westminster lobbying firm Portland Communications. They joined Portland in January 2020 from Labour, where they held a number of senior roles over 15 years, mostly recently working at the party's HQ as a head of policy, development and engagement. Labour has accepted many in-kind donations of secondary staff members from banks, lobbyists and consultants in recent years, but this is the first time it's failed to declare the value of such an arrangement. Before Starmer took over the party's leadership in 2020, Labour had banned such secondments over concerns that they amounted to institutional corruption, according to James Schneider, who was Director of Strategic Communications for the former Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn. Interesting. Something tells me that the more I read this, the more questions need to be asked here, Kia. Schneider, now communications director at campaign group Progressive International, told Open Democracy, if Labour's policy is written by people who were or expect to be corporate lobbyists in the future, we will represent those corporate interests, not its members, unions, or the public. In this way, the revolving door open between corporate lobbying and Westminster is a form of legalised corruption that insulates the rich and powerful from democratic demands. He added, with this seeding revolving door fully reinstated in Labour HQ, it's no surprise that the party is busy rejecting policies that would benefit the many and not the few. Well, they have been doing a lot of U-turns lately. You can't argue that. Political parties complete quarterly returns detailing all their donations received, with Electoral Commission rules stipulating that in-kind donations of staff time must be declared in the quarter that the arrangement begins. When Open Democracy contacted Labour about this story, the party said it had declared the donation and would be published in the next set of returns, which relate to the quarter 4 of 2023. So they say they're planning to... Okay, so it's very important to make this distinction here. Labour have said, it's very important, guys, they have said, the party has said that it would be publishing its next set of returns which relate to the court. So it said it's declared the donation. I think that's a very important point. They're saying declare it and it would be published in the next set of returns which is related to the quarter 4 of 2023. So in theory, it should be declared at some point this year. So let's be very clear about that. They are saying that. So this could entirely be over the top from Open Democracy, allegedly. So Alistair Graham, who chaired the Committee of Standards in Public Life between 2004 and 2007, told Open Democracy the Electoral Commission should be looking at this. Graham continued, in the run-up to a general election when the leader of the Labour Party has stressed how he wants to demonstrate that the party will have the highest ethical standards of any government, it is absolutely crucial that they are seen following the rules. The bank is facilitating the Second Amendment, then it is a donation which should be declared to the Electoral Commission, and the Member of Parliament who is supervising this Second Amendment should really have declared it on the MP's register of interest. They've now got as their Chief of Staff Sue Gray, who used to be in charge of ethical standards in the Cabinet Office, so she should be overseeing that rules and abiding with, and there is a full disclosure to the Electoral Commission. Last week, Open Democracy revealed that Labour had accepted a cash and in-kind donations worth £2 million from banks, finances, firms and links to the City of London since 2022. NatWest and the lobby firm Lowick second members of staff to Rene's office in 2022 while he was Shadow City Minister, and Reynolds' successor in his role. Tulip Sully currently has a financial services specialist second to her office from lobbying firm Global Counsel. Tom Braid, director of Democratic Standards campaign organisation Unlock Democracy, said, any party receiving multi-million-pound donations from a particular industry, whether it is banking or building, has to be hyper-vigilant about the transparency of any donations and the risk that the sector is unduly influencing party policy. The Electoral Commission needs to examine whether the Labour Party has failed the first test, and that the Labour Party needs to prove how it was avoiding failing for a foul of the second. A HSBC spokesperson has said, we are apolitical, we work in different political parties to advocate for our customers and build their understanding for the issues of facing financial service. We have constructive conversation with both the government and the opposition in the UK. Labour declined to offer a comment or provide further details about the arrangement. So I think it's very important, like I said it previously up in the article. So they don't want to comment specifically on this story, Labour, but I think it's also important to point out that they may declare it later on this year. Now, why they haven't declared it sooner is obviously a very good question, a question that needs to be asked. So probably it could be entirely possible, but by a week or two, by the time you guys watch this video, or if you don't watch it on the day or whatever, it's entirely possible they may have declared it, and it's absolutely fine. But is it fine that HSBC has its hand in both political parties? I don't like it. I would prefer that the unions have more control in Labour than union. I would prefer that the unions have more say and sway in the Labour Party rather than the banks. It does worry me that they get so many donations from so many banks and other organisations. I don't like it at all. I really don't like it. I've said this in the previous video, but this could be something that could come back to bite Labour. or this could be something that could be settled very, very quickly. So I wouldn't jump too quickly on the gun to say that they're breaking the rules. I would say that that the Electoral Commission should look at it. I agree that they should look at it. I wouldn't go out of my way to say, hey, they're breaking all the rules. I wouldn't go that far. But I would say it should be something that the Electoral Commission should look into, just to clarify what's going on here, according to what Open Democracy has. But what do you guys think? Do you think Labour are breaking the rules? Do you think they're following the rules and the guidelines here? Is it a case that the Electoral Commission just needs to chase them up? Is it a case that Labour have just not donated it properly? Or is it more to this than we think? Let me know what you guys honestly think in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate shares across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or joining me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.